Step-by-step graphical solution process. Hello, everyone. Today, we are going to dive into a very intuitive way to solve systems of equations, the step-by-step graphical solution process. Now, before we jump into the calculations, let's understand what we are actually trying to achieve. When we talk about the graphical method of solving a pair of linear equations, we are essentially using a visual approach. Instead of just manipulating numbers on paper, we are looking for a way to see the values of our variables that satisfy both equations at the exact same time. To do this, we need to remember a fundamental rule from coordinate geometry. Every single linear equation involving two variables, like x and y, represents a straight line when plotted on a coordinate plane. So, if we have two different equations, we will have two different lines. The solution we are searching for is simply the geometric location where these two lines meet. It is that specific point, or points, where the lines intersect. As we move through the next few slides, I will show you exactly how to calculate these points, how to plot them accurately, and how to interpret what you see on your graph. Step 1. Finding solutions, creating a table of points. To draw any straight line on a graph, you can't just guess. You need at least two distinct, accurate points that lie on that line. Since we are dealing with a pair of equations, we need to repeat this process for both equations to see where they eventually meet. Our goal here is to find a set of coordinates, which we call x and y, that make each specific equation true. So, how do we actually do this? I recommend following a simple three-step procedure. First, try to isolate one variable. It is much easier to work with an equation when one variable is all by itself. For example, if you have a complex equation like a subscript 1x plus b subscript 1y plus c subscript 1 equals 0, you should rewrite it so that y equals negative a subscript 1x minus c subscript 1, all divided by b subscript 1. This puts the equation into a much more manageable format. Second, substitute values. You don't need to pick random, difficult numbers. Instead, choose simple values for x, such as 0, 1, 2, or even negative 1. Once you pick an x, just calculate the corresponding value for y. Third, create a table. Don't try to keep all these numbers in your head. Organize your pairs of x and y into a clear table so you don't make mistakes when we move to the next step of plotting them. Let's look at a quick example to see this in action. Suppose we have the equation 2x plus y equals 6. Let's pick our first simple value 0 for x. If x equals 0, then 2 times 0 plus y equals 6. This simplifies to just y equals 6. So our first point is 0, 6. Now let's pick another value. Let's try x equals 3. If x equals 3, then 2 times 3 plus y equals 6. That gives us 6 plus y equals 6. Subtracting 6 from both sides, we find that y equals 0. This gives us our second point, 3, 0. Now that we understand the concept of using lines to find a solution, let's move into the actual work. Step 1 is finding our points. With these points ready, we can move on to the next slide, where I'll show you how to actually plot these onto the Cartesian plane. Step 2, plotting on the Cartesian plane. Now that we have completed the first step and have our tables of points ready for both equations, it is time to move from numbers to pictures. In this third step, we are going to translate those numerical values into a visual representation on a graph. To do this properly, we follow a specific procedure. First, you need to draw your axes. Start by drawing a horizontal line, which we call the x-axis, and a vertical line, which is the y-axis. Make sure these two lines intersect at the origin, which is the point 0, 0. Second, we begin plotting. Take the points you calculated from your first table and mark them clearly on this plane. Third, once those points are marked, use a ruler to draw a straight line that passes exactly through them. A common mistake is to stop the line at the last point, so make sure to extend the line across the entire graph so we can see where it might go. Finally, you must repeat this exact same process for your second equation. However, a very important tip here is to make the second line look different from the first. You can do this by using a different colored pencil or by drawing a dashed line. This ensures that when we move to the next step to identify the solution, you won't get your two lines confused. Step 3. Identifying the solution. Now that we have successfully plotted both lines on our Cartesian plane, as we discussed in the previous step, we move to the final and most crucial part of the process, identifying the solution. At this stage, we aren't just looking at lines, we are looking for the geometric relationship between them. The way these two lines interact, whether they cross, run parallel, or overlap, is exactly what tells us the nature of the solution to our system of equations. There are 3 specific scenarios you need to be able to recognize. First, we have intersecting lines. This is the most common case you will encounter. If you see that the two lines cross each other at exactly one single point, then the coordinates of that specific point, which we call x and y, represent the unique solution to the system. This point is the only pair of values that satisfies both equations simultaneously. Second, consider the case of parallel lines. If you notice that the lines are running side by side, maintaining a constant distance and never meeting no matter how far you extend them, then there is no solution. In mathematical terms, we say this system is inconsistent because there is no coordinate pair that exists on both lines at the same time. Finally, we have coincident lines. This happens when the second line lies exactly on top of the first line, essentially appearing as a single line on your graph. In this situation, every single point on that line is a solution, which means we have infinitely many solutions. As we will see in our next slide with the real-world ISB example, identifying which of these 3 scenarios you are facing is key to solving practical problems. Real-world application example. Imagine you are trying to choose between 2 different internet service providers, or ISPs, and they both have different pricing structures. Provider A charges you a monthly base and a monthly base fee of $10, plus an additional $2 for every gigabyte of data you use. On the other hand, Provider B doesn't have a base fee at all, but they charge a higher rate of $4 per gigabyte. Our goal here is to use the graphical method we just discussed to find the exact amount of data usage, measured in gigabytes, where the monthly cost would be exactly the same for both providers. Let's walk through the resolution step by step. First, we need to formulate our equations. To do this, let's define our variables. Let x represent the amount of data used in gigabytes, and let y represent the total monthly cost in dollars. For provider A, the cost is 2 times x plus 10, which gives us the equation, y equals 2x plus 10. For provider B, since there is no base fee, the cost is simply 4 times x, so our second equation is y equals 4x. Next, we follow the procedure from our second slide to create tables of points. For provider A, using the equation y equals 2x plus 10, let's pick 2 simple values for x if x equals 0, then y equals 2 times 0 plus 10, which results in y equals 10, giving us the point 0, 10. If we choose x equals 5, then y equals 2 times 5 plus 10, which is 10 plus 10, so y equals 20. This gives us our second point, 5, 20. Now, let's do the same for provider B, using the equation y equals 4x if x equals 0, then y equals 4 times 0, which is 0, giving us the point 0, 0. If we choose x equals 5, then y equals 4 times 5, which is 20. This gives us the point 5, 20. Now we move to the third step of our process, plotting on the Cartesian plane. You would take your ruler and draw the axes, then plot the points for provider A and draw a straight line through them. Then, using a different color to avoid the mistakes we'll discuss in the next slide, plot the points for provider B and draw that line. As you look at your graph, you will observe that both lines cross each other at exactly one specific point, the point 5, 20. Finally, we reach our conclusion. By identifying that intersection point, we have found our solution. The coordinates 5, 20 tell us that, when you use exactly 5 gigabytes of data, the monthly cost for both providers is identical, at $20. This perfectly demonstrates how the intersection of 2 lines provides the unique solution to a system of equations. Now that we have mastered the theory and the step-by-step procedure, let's put everything we've learned into practice with a real-world application. Common mistakes to avoid. Now, before we wrap up our lesson, I want to pause and discuss some common pitfalls. Even when you understand the theory, small errors in execution can lead to the wrong conclusion. First, let's talk about inaccurate plotting. As we saw in the previous steps when drawing our lines, even a tiny tilt or a slight wobble in your line can shift your intersection point significantly. This might lead you to identify an incorrect solution. To prevent this, always use a sharp pencil and a straight ruler to ensure your lines are as precise as possible. Second, be careful with using insufficient points. While it is true that you only need 2 points to draw a line, I highly recommend calculating a third point for each equation. This acts as a safety net. It helps you verify that your points are collinear, meaning they actually lie on the same straight line, and it allows you to catch any calculation errors you might have made during the table creation stage we discussed earlier. Third, pay close attention to your scaling. If you choose a scale for your x-axis and y-axis that is either too small or too large, the intersection point might become very difficult to identify visually. Try to choose a scale that spreads your points out clearly across the Cartesian plane. Finally, a common point of confusion occurs when dealing with lines that appear to be the same. You must be careful not to confuse parallel lines with coincident lines. If the lines look like they are overlapping, don't just assume they are the same. Go back to the equations and check the constants. You need to verify if the equations are simply multiples of each other, which would mean they are coincident and have infinite solutions, or if they have the same slope but different intercepts, which would mean they are parallel and have no solution. Keep these tips in mind, and you will find the graphical method much more reliable. Now, let's move to our final slide to summarize everything we have learned today. Key takeaways. First, let's keep our ultimate goal in mind. The entire purpose of the graphical method is to identify that specific point where x and y meet, which is the point where the two lines intersect. To achieve this, remember the 3-step process we've just walked through. First, you find your points by creating a table. Second, you plot those lines onto the Cartesian plane. And third, you identify the intersection. Finally, always be prepared for one of 3 possible outcomes when looking at your graph. If you see exactly one point of intersection, you have found a unique solution. If you notice the lines are parallel and never meet, then there is no solution, meaning the system is inconsistent. And if the lines are overlapping or coincident, you are looking at infinitely many solutions. All right, we have reached the end of our lesson. Let's take a moment to wrap everything up by reviewing the key takeaways from today's session. I hope this step-by-step breakdown has made the graphical method much clearer for you. Great job following along today.